Reinvention isn't a buzzword anymore. It's survival. The old legacy model is cracking. And that playbook we used to use in the auto industry, you might as well throw that out the window. But reinvention is hard. It's difficult. It's about reinventing culture, people, businesses, products, all of it. My next guest gets it to the very core of her being. She has reinvented herself personally, and yes, she has reinvented an automotive supplier. I am thrilled to welcome to the show today, Lori Lancaster, Vice Chair of Emotiv Mobility. Lori, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Now, Lori, people may know you from Dakota. You've been in the industry a long time. But here you are today. We're putting the spotlight on you. No pressure.
No pressure.
To talk about reinvention.
Yeah.
But my first question to you, Lori, is this. Who are you as a leader?
Well, that's a great question, right? I ask myself every day. I ask my team. I get some surprising answers sometimes, as we know. But I like to think of myself as a servant leader, right? As somebody who, sets an example for the team. If I'm not willing to do something, I wouldn't think I should be able to expect my team to be willing to do something. So that's where it starts for me, is that servant leadership mentality. And I like to really celebrate the team, but also at the same time work with them to hold each other accountable. And so when I think of the traits that I try to display as a leader, those are some of the traits that I fall back on.
Lori, in this industry, you've been in the industry a while, the idea of servant leadership would have been scoffed at many years ago. We would have laughed at it. We would have said, what do you mean servant leadership? Leaders are command and control. They tell people what to do. They're tough. They're aggressive, particularly in this industry. How did you give yourself permission to say, you know what, that's not who I am. I am a servant leader. How did that happen?
Well, I think that comes from maybe my family and the way I was raised. I don't know if you know, but I work for my sister, Andra Rush, in her company. So when she started her company, she had that same mindset as well. And so I was stepping into maybe a company that already had that in its DNA. And so it was maybe a little easier to carry that on. I think you can be a servant leader and still be a leader who holds your team accountable.
Yes.
I think to do that, you have to really engage and listen to the people. You have to take their ideas and meld them with the vision you see for the company and figure out a way that will work to get to where you want to go. And that way you get buy-in from your team. And then when you hold them accountable to the steps that it takes to get to your goal, they can understand that, right? If they know where you're going and why you need to do what you need to do to get there.
Yeah, and I think accountability is often misunderstood because accountability often gets confused with blame, and that's not the case. When you're truly a good servant leader and you can paint a picture of a vision and a mission and you can get people on board, it's much easier to hold people accountable in a positive way. It doesn't have to be an overly aggressive way, does it?
No. You have to help people understand the why.
Yes.
Why is it that we need to be a lean company, Lori?
Yes.
Why is it that we need to tighten our belts and do more? You're asking more from me. And it's like, well, because we want to be a sustainable company. We have these goals and we have these requirements from our customers. And if we can't meet them, then we won't be here. And we all want to be here and we want to do great things. So I think helping them understand the why and then engaging them in developing the plan to get there is key, I think, to being able to hold them accountable and to help both sides realize their goals.